Listen, so their policy is you can't record in here.
You're NYPD now? You're NYPD now?
Always been. Listen,
no.
You have to leave because you're not allowed to record in here.
You want to read their policies?
Their policies that you cannot record in here.
The first line.
Their staff is asking us to remove you, and I don't remember you. I
remember you.
Oh, that's nice. I hope you like me. Time to go. All right?
Why would I need to leave? I have a right to be here, and I'm conducting business.
No, you're not conducting business. And the thing is that you have to go through.
Read the policy right there. I'm handing it to you.
Told me.
Who is he?
The security guard. The head security guard said that you need to leave, and they have a right to kick you out.
Photography and photocopying policy, right? I'm going to read it to you because if you violate my rights, you can't say that you didn't know.
That's our job.
It's no negotiation. It's no.
So you could just ask anybody to leave a public building just because.
Yes.
They want you to.
They said they've gotten complaints from every staff member on every single floor that you're recording them and you're being a nuisance, and you're not allowed to do that inside the library.
How am I being a nuisance?
You have to leave.
How am I being a nuisance?
You are recording them and you are not allowed to do that inside.
So photography is a nuisance?
Sir?
Can I speak to your supervisor, please?
They can't record in here, right? You willing to? Nope. All right.
Read this. Handheld cameras are permitted.
Listen.
First line. Handheld cameras are permitted. This is their rules.
You have to.
Why?
Why? Because you are not allowed.
What crime am I committing?
You're not part of any media. You did not have prior permission to record in here. You now have to leave.
I do have permission.
Step out civilly.
I want to speak to your supervisor.
No problem. He's going to tell you the same thing.
No, he's not.
Tell you.
He's going to honor his oath to the Constitution.
Let's make it bad.
I don't want to deal with you because I already got you on camera.
Go ahead.
Cursing me out, so I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to deal with you. I'd rather deal with somebody that I never had contact with. Because right now it seems like retaliation. You didn't investigate at all. You didn't do no investigation. You just went off of his word, right?
Wants you to respond.
Why are you asking me to leave a public place I have a right to be?
They want you to leave, so you gotta leave.
Okay, what if they wanted me to smack myself? I gotta smack myself?
No, that's different.
Right. I have a right to be here just like everybody else. I'm not being disorderly. I'm walking around peacefully recording. The public workers. Can I record you? Can I record you? So why can't I record the city workers?
They're not city workers.
They work. New York is funded.
They're security guards.
The public library is funded by tax dollars.
You can record me all you want.
I can record government workers in the course of their duty. Read case law. You need to read case law because you enforce the law.
My job right now
is to
get you out of this building.
Why? What crime did I commit?
They don't want you in here.
Why would they ask me to leave?
You're being disorderly. You're being a nuisance, and now you have other people watching.
How am I being a nuisance? How?
You were
by simply recording.
They asked you to stop recording.
They never asked me to leave. They never asked me to leave.
Because I can ask him and he can say the opposite.
I have on camera. Have you guys ever asked me to leave since I've been here? Have you asked me to leave? Have you asked me to leave since I've been here? Nope. First thing they said when I came in the building was you can record.
Listen, you can hang out here, wait.
I'm going to wait for your supervisor.
My lieutenant's going to be here.
Why not?
Hello everyone, welcome back. If you enjoy real-world legal encounters explained in plain English, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments because this encounter quickly turns into a constitutional debate. An individual filming inside a public library is immediately told to stop recording and leave, but instead of complying without question, he points to the library's written photography policy and repeatedly asks a simple legal question. What crime has he actually committed? This opening sets the stage for a dispute over whether a public building's internal policy can justify removing someone who insists they are peacefully exercising rights protected by the First Amendment, making the next moments far more significant than they first appear.
Honor your oath. Why not protect my rights?
I'm honoring my oath.
I'm in a public building.
These nice men called me here, and they called us to escort you out of this building, and that's as far as I'm concerned with
Why would you escort me out the building?
We don't need to continue any more conversation.
You escort me out if I'm being disorderly, if I'm somewhere I'm not supposed to be, if I'm impeding business.
They said you were not allowed to record.
Can I finish my sentence?
Can
I finish my sentence?
That's what they've asked.
Right, you work for me. You work for me.
I also work for them.
You work for me.
So you understand that, right?
And they're not exercising their rights. I am.
Yeah. No,
peacefully.
They are peacefully asking us to escort you out.
For what crime?
You're not allowed to record in here.
He just said I was. And it says right here on their policies. Read their policies.
He actually just said you weren't allowed to record in here.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Listen, he's the head security guard as far as I'm concerned.
Read the policy.
And we were asked to escort you out.
Read their policy.
I don't need to read their policy.
So I'm not violating their policy, so why would you ask me to leave?
I abide by what the security
and I'm not breaking the law.
Listen, this is a civil matter, and
I don't want to talk to you no more because this is retaliation. You're trying to retaliate against me because I recorded you before. So
I don't remember you ever recording.
I remember you. I remember you. You work at Midtown South, right?
It's on my press bar.
Yeah, I didn't even look at that. I already know.
It's right here.
If I was somewhere I'm not supposed to be, if I was cursing people out, if I was being disorderly,
Listen, I'm just here to explain
every time I
what they
talk, you
asked
cut
me
me
to.
off.
Listen, like you said, you
Me
don't wanna
simply
speak, then don't
recording,
speak.
me recording is not a disorder, is not a disturbance.
You're being a disturbance to these people. They
How?
asked you to leave. I don't know.
Because they don't like what I'm doing? What if they didn't like my shirt?
really-
What if they didn't like my religion? You're gonna escort me out of a public building?
This is
Because
just
this is
you
a
recording
right.
inside
It's
the
called,
library.
it's called freedom of religion. So if I was praying
And the
here,
staff has asked you to leave.
ma'am,
I don't know what more you want me to say.
if I was praying in this library and they didn't like that I was my religion, they wanted me out because I was praying. You going to enforce their feelings, or do I have freedom of religion?
Are you praying right now?
I wanted to.
So
I came to this library for
go
multiple
ahead and
reasons.
pray.
You going to ask me to leave while I'm praying because they don't like my religion?
What is going on right here? We didn't find you praying.
I'm going to pray before I leave. I came here to conduct business.
The only way
I came here to utilize the library for its purposes.
The only way I'm leaving here right now is if my lieutenant tells me you can stay.
Why wouldn't I be able to stay? I'm not being disorderly. All I'm doing is walking around quietly recording the New York City public workers, which I have a right to do. I can record the government while you're at work.
You'll see what my lieutenant says, okay? How about that? Deal? And then
Sure, that's why I asked for him.
And if you're good to stay, then I'll leave.
The
No problem.
Constitution and the law says I'm okay.
Constitution has
What
nothing
you
to do
swore an
with
oath
this
to do.
library. No.
What does the Constitution have to do with?
Business.
Does the Constitution have to do with your job?
Oh. This is.
Does the
this is
Constitution have to do with your job?
This has nothing to do with the Constitution.
It does for
this
me.
us asking
It does
you to
for
leave
me.
Because they said you're being disorderly, and they're not comfortable with you recording
you
inside
wanna-
here, and they said that you're not allowed to record inside here. We don't
Read
have
their
to.
policies. Read it. Read the first line. Read the first bulletin.
They just gave this to me. That last bullet point says
Let me
no
see.
photographs of the staff, other researchers, or certain reading rooms may be taken.
That's what.
Okay,
they're
they work for the
complaining about.
government. There's case law that I can
doesn't
record
matter.
It
them.
That's
doesn't
part of their
matter.
policy,
That's what we're
and they
here
don't
to
wanna be
explain to you.
recorded.
They said that the staff members don't want you recording.
Okay, I'm still not committing a crime. I have a right to be in a public
And they
building.
have the right to escort you out.
Why would they do that if I'm conducting business?
But you're not anymore. They're asking you to
I
stop.
am though, because I still have to
If you
file
wanna stay in
complaints.
this- if you want to stay in
I
this
still have to
library,
file
that's fine. You
complaints.
have to stop though.
I still have to file complaints, and I still have to do a FOIA request.
You want
And I still want to pray before I leave.
How do you file a complaint?
On the first floor.
First,
The disagreement now shifts beyond photography and into constitutional principles. The officers continue relying on the library's request, while the auditor argues that government policies cannot override constitutional protections. Under the First Amendment, recording government officials performing their duties in publicly accessible areas has often been recognized by federal courts as protected activity, although reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions may still apply depending on the location. The key legal issue here is whether the library's restrictions are lawful conditions for using the property, or whether removing someone solely for peaceful recording could infringe constitutional rights. This exchange highlights the difference between internal policies and enforceable laws, a distinction that frequently becomes the center of First Amendment audits.
do you want to go to the first floor?
I was going there before you guys came.
Well, listen, I have no problem you filing a complaint.
If I was committing a crime, then you have to escort me out.
They're just
This
trying
is a
to
public
enforce their
building.
policy.
Yes.
This is
You cannot put
literally
policy
we're
over
showing
law.
it to you.
You cannot put policy over law. What if the policy said no black people? You want to enforce that?
That's
You
not
can't
their
put policy over law.
That's not going to happen.
The
and that's
government
not their
can't
policy.
make the government
Listen,
can't
do you
make
wanna
policies
a-
that do
do
violate
you
the
wanna
law
make- do you wanna
or
go
the
make a complaint
Constitution.
right now? 'Cause we'll walk
Yeah,
down
I'm
with you.
going
Come on.
there. You put policy over law? Since when? Fuck out of here. I recorded libraries in every 5 boroughs, all 5 boroughs. And it's not a problem because it's not against the law. You swore to protect my rights. You're supposed to come here and enforce the law, not their policy.
This floor? One more floor?
Am I being detained?
No, you're not in cuffs. No, you're not.
So I'm
You're
free.
being escorted down to the
So I'm
front
free.
floor. No, you
Am I
have
being
to leave.
detained?
You have to leave.
Am I
Being
detained for a
means-
crime?
Being detained means you're being stopped and you're under investigation.
Am I being detained for a crime?
I just explained to you, not being detained. You do
All right, then, so that means I'm free, right?
Anything she's
You're not
I feel like
listening
she's
to what I'm
explaining things
Am I
clear to you,
detained
and you're
for a
like
crime?
doing the runaround.
Come on.
Am I detained for a crime?
We're gonna go downstairs and you can make a complaint.
You can go
against
wherever you
Robert.
want. I'm free. I'm not detained.
We are going downstairs and you can either leave or you can go make a complaint. They don't want you in here. They have a right to not have you in here. If you want to take that up civilly, go right ahead and you can make a complaint and start that process. However, their policy says right here, no.
I don't care about their policy, bro. I don't care about their policy, bro.
May be taken.
I'm not breaking the law.
That's exactly what you're doing in here.
I'm not breaking the law.
You out because you
No, they
are
don't.
exactly violating.
No, they don't.
You're violating the
No, they
staff
don't.
members.
I have a constitutional right to record in public. It's called the First Amendment. It's called the First Amendment. You know what the Constitution is? The highest law of the land. You can't put a fucking library's policy over the Constitution. Are you crazy? You swore over to the Constitution. You didn't swear over to the library's policy. And if they deny me public services, I'm gonna sue them. If you violate my rights, I'm gonna sue you. You ain't swear over to the library's policy. You forgot what your oath is to? The Constitution. Smug ass. Took an oath for what? Where's your lieutenant at so I can speak to him?
He's on his way. He's on another job.
He probably has more pressing matters than somebody exercising their rights in a public building.
The encounter reaches its most confrontational stage as the discussion turns to detention, trespass, and constitutional authority. The auditor repeatedly asks whether he is being detained or is free to leave, a legally important question because officers generally need lawful authority to detain someone against their will. He also argues that recording itself is not a crime, while criticizing the officers for relying on policy instead of identifying a specific law. Whether his legal interpretation is ultimately correct depends on the facts and applicable jurisdiction, but the exchange demonstrates why citizens often ask officers to clearly state the legal basis for any detention or enforcement action. It also shows how quickly disagreements over rights can escalate when both sides interpret their authority differently.
So what? Are you gonna honor your oath?
It is what it is. I'm
So what
honoring
is
my
it?
oath. They
No,
asked
it's
me to
not.
escort you out.
Let me
Right
ask you a
here,
question.
You violated their policy.
Let me
Yes
ask you
or
a
no?
question. Can you put that
Yes
policy
or
over the
no?
law?
Did you not violate their policy that's right here?
What's higher, that policy or their law?
This is their right. This is their building. This is their
This is our building. It's the people's building.
Their establishment,
It's a people's
and they have
building.
a right to escort
It's
you
a
out.
public
now,
building.
I'm here to do this civilly.
I pay
and I don't wanna
taxes to
force
be in
you
this
out of here,
building.
okay? My lieutenant's pulling up. Who is that? No,
Well, he
that's
could
not
come
him.
find me.
That's not him. That's traffic with the lights on.
You put policy over law?
I'm putting them right now.
Of course you do.
This is my job.
Of course you do.
This is
Of
what
course
I'm here for.
your job is to
Do you
enforce the
wanna
law.
go? Do you want to make a complaint?
Your job is to enforce the law. Is there a law being broken right
Do you
now?
want to come?
What law am I breaking?
Do you want to make a complaint?
Yeah,
while we wait
don't.
for my
Yeah, avoid that
lieutenant?
question.
Come on.
Avoid that question. What law am I
I've
breaking?
already answered you multiple times.
What
You're
law am I
being
breaking?
disorderly. You're not
How?
under arrest. You
How
are
am
not
I
under
being
arrest.
disorderly, ma'am?
Because you're
I'm
violating
recording?
their policy.
Photography
right here,
isn't a
right
crime
here.
in
Look,
public.
No photographs of the staff, other
Photography
researchers,
isn't
or
a
certain
crime
reading
in
rooms may
public,
be taken.
and you can't
wanna
turn
go
photography
to
into
Why'd you show us that piece
You
of
can't
paper?
turn
Now that
photography
now that
into
we
a
pointed
crime.
that out, now it doesn't
You
matter.
can't
Now
to
that
show
piece
you
of paper
how
means nothing.
because I record in libraries all over the city.
You're contradicting
because I have the
yourself.
right to.
You're contradicting yourself.
No, I'm not. I'm following the law.
Yes, you are.
The law that you swore to protect. You enforce the law. You
That's
enforce
what we're
policies.
doing.
So
That's
what
we're
law
doing.
am I
We're doing our
breaking?
job.
What law
You're
am I
being
breaking?
disorderly.
How? By
The
recording?
lieutenant is right here.
Okay. Is he going to help me file my complaint?
He keeps saying he's violating his rights, that we're violating his rights because he's clearly breaking their policy that says no photographs of the staff, other researchers, or certain reading rooms may be taken. And he's saying we're violating his constitutional right that he's allowed to record in here, and their policy doesn't matter. And he requested you because
How you
we're
doing?
violating his rights.
All right.
Well, this is what I said. I said you can't put their library policy over the law. I'm not breaking the law, which means I have a right to be here. It's a public building.
Okay.
My taxes fund this building. Do I not have a right to be here?
The library doesn't want you at this location.
Why? Because I'm exercising my rights in public.
You have to
I still have I'm conducting business in this building, and once I finish my business, I was going to leave.
I know they don't want you here anymore.
I have to file a complaint. I have the right to redress my government.
I know, but you have to do that. If you could probably file a complaint outside, but you have to leave. They don't want you here.
Am I breaking the law?
Well,
Nobody asked me to leave. You guys are the first person that came up to me.
you have to leave.
So if I don't leave, I'm going to get arrested?
Well, yeah.
I need to hear you say that. If I don't leave this building, what's going to happen?
They're going to prosecute you.
You're going to arrest me?
No, the New York City Public Library is going to prosecute you.
Okay, so I have a reasonable amount of time to leave, don't I?
Well, actually, now, can you please leave?
Okay, I can't leave through that way. I got to leave through this way.
Which way? That way?
And I still need the information that I came here to get.
I'll give you
Are you going to help me with that?
Yep. Whatever you need outside.
All right. I need all your cards.
Yeah, cool.
And all of your names. So you're saying that you could just trespass people from public for no crime?
They don't
No
want
crime.
location.
No crime. It doesn't matter what they want. I'm not breaking the law.
You have to leave, sir.
You gonna help me get my information?
Absolutely.
So you're just gonna violate my rights over a policy, right?
The arrival of the lieutenant brings the encounter into its final stage, where both sides restate their positions before the auditor eventually prepares to leave. The officers explain that the library can pursue trespass after directing someone to leave, while the auditor continues maintaining that no law has been broken and that constitutional protections should prevail over internal policy. In many jurisdictions, refusing to leave public property after a lawful notice can lead to trespass proceedings, but whether that order is legally justified often depends on the property's status, applicable regulations, and the specific facts of the incident. Encounters like this remind viewers why understanding both constitutional rights and property rules is essential before drawing conclusions. If you found this breakdown informative, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more real-world legal analysis, and leave your opinion in the comments. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay informed and take care.